Hello YouTube, how you doing? I'm Anthony Sheaffer. Today we're going to talk about worm farming. I'm reading the comics right now, so we're going to get done with those. We're going to shred those all up. And we're going to start preparing for the bins today. Many of you know you may purchase worms from me before. I'm just starting to really get a good population going. All those wax newspapers, we don't need those. Those are going to end up being hard for your worms to digest. So what we did is we put all kinds of paper that I shredded previous in here and take water and starting to soak it before we get started. Alright. A couple things that we're going to need today is a source of buckets. Square buckets work great. They have a good source of surface area. And what we're going to do is a 1/4 inch bit, and you can see back here I have a couple other buckets already started. We have a drill that I've drilled holes in the side for air and oxygen to get into your worms to get good composting there going, and then I have a thermostat. Alright, so now we've completed the drilling of all the holes in the bucket. We have 3 of them together, ready to get started. We have our newspaper that is wet. What we have is eggshells, some brown sugar, which gives a little bit of food to the soil, which we're also going to feed the worms consistently, some of the worm chow that I personally make myself. So, what we're going to do is double stack our bucket, and we're going to start with an empty bucket. Alright, so then we're going to be putting our wet newspaper in there, and to get started, this is about 3 newspapers. I have a good source of newspapers that people deliver. Alright, so to get our first level of buckets here, this is going to have holes in it. We're going to source it with some already pre-shredded newspaper. That is the start of your bin, and we're going to build it as layers as time goes on. And then you're going to go to a previously started worm bucket, and you're going to be able to harvest worms and also eggs and castings to be able to expand your colony of worms. As this is my 4th bucket system that I have going on, and worms are reproducing at 2 and 3 times their volume per month, as long as they're fed in ideal conditions are supplied for them. You can always check out my other YouTube videos, and you can also order from Lancaster Growers Network at Facebook. Now here in our established bin, what we have is old newsprint, we have old mailings, we have kitchen scraps, we have yard waste, things that are going to be compostable. And you're going to also be seeing here that we're going to have small and adult worms. Now this has been established for about 6 months in this bin here. I have other bins that have been a little older, but as you can go through here, there is worms that are just reproducing in tremendous amounts. Now for harvesting some of your nutrient-rich worm castings, and another byproduct of that is worm tea or worm juice. I call it worm wee, and that is going to be a liquid fertilizer that you can put directly on your plants. And there will be some worms that fall through, but you can see that it's nice rich black. It has some compost castings in there and also some worms. Now in these two bins here, I have night crawlers that I started in the right hand side bin that I caught from my backyard and garden. On the left side here is going to be the new bin that we're going to be starting. So I'm going to take a hunk of worms, and once this gets fully established and wet throughout, we're going to make sure that the humidity and the wetness stays with this bin until it's fully established and